Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Whether or Not, the first Whether or Not of the new semester. I'm your host, Jimmy Wendolek, joined by our forecaster this week, Brian Michigan. So, Brian, it was a chilly start for many across the Commonwealth this week. Can we expect those conditions to continue into the weekend?
We certainly can, Jimmy. It looks like temperatures will be remaining lower than average, and we even have a big system as we approach the 3-day weekend. With more details on that, I'll have that coming up in my forecast.
Well, I can't wait to hear all the details coming up in your forecast. But first, we have to get through nature in the news. For this week's show, I have stories about a species of fish that's learning to do the wave and goldfish that are learning to drive. How about you, Brian?
I'll be sharing stories about how the James Webb Telescope is already having great success and why comets appear a greenish color.
Sounds great. And with that, let's jump into nature in the news. If you have ever been to a live sporting event, you've probably seen fans do the wave across the stadium, but have you ever seen fish do the same? In the jungles of Mexico, small silver fish called sulfur mollies move in unison, creating waves that zigzag across the water. The fish themselves are not actually moving, however. They are only splashing their tails at the surface, creating the illusion of motion. Scientists have known about this behavior for a long time, but have just recently discovered its purpose. Since sulfur mollies swim in large groups, predators such as kingfishers can swoop down for an easy meal. The wave-like motion slows their attacks. A new study shows that the synchronized waves cause the birds to wait twice as long between attacks and makes it more difficult for them to actually catch a fish. While its impacts can easily be seen, the exact effect that the behavior has on the birds is still unknown. Whatever the effect, this is one of the first examples of collective behavior intended to decrease the efficiency of an attacker in the wild, and scientists can't wait to learn more.
On December 25th, 2021, NASA launched the James Webb Telescope into orbit from Europe's spaceport in French New Guiana with hopes to further capture the universe we inhabit. The telescope is 3 times larger than the Hubble telescope, and that allows for scientists to look deeper into space and into the past in order to study some of the first stars and galaxies that formed when the universe began. With the telescope being so large, it could not fit into the rocket by itself. As a result, NASA divided its 21-foot primary mirrors into segments, and 18 gold-plated portions of the telescope were folded, and then when it reached space, it sprawled out into position. The launch was a great success, and scientists believe that the mission's lifespan increased by 10 years and saved billions of dollars. There is still much more time to go, though, until the telescope reaches its final destination, which is 1,000,000 miles past the moon's orbit, called L2. It is here where the gravitational fields of Earth and our sun allow for a stable orbit around the sun. In the coming years, scientists will be able to continue making countless new discoveries in order to truly find out how everything in the universe first began.
We usually think that humans are the only species that needs cars, but it turns out goldfish are pretty good drivers too. Researchers had goldfish learn to drive a tank of water on wheels to different destinations in a room, and the results show that fish have a great sense of space and direction. The 6 fish were each given a motorized fishmobile, complete with a camera to track the driver's position. Whenever the fish swam near one of the walls of the tank, the vehicle would then turn in that direction. Each goldfish was given a dozen 30-minute sessions to drive from the center of the room to a pink board on one wall. During the first session, the fish averaged 2.5 successful trips, but by the final session, they improved to 17.5 trips to the pink board and back. Additionally, the starting position of the fish was then changed multiple times, and the fish continued to find their way to the board. This shows that the fish were not just memorizing their previous movements, but were actually learning how to navigate.
Hello everyone, Brian Michigan here for your Central Pennsylvania forecast. Now, the past week or so here in Pennsylvania has been quite a chilele one, in fact, and that looks to continue as we head into this upcoming weekend, and that's actually going to be playing a big role in this upcoming weather system that we have later in the weekend. But to kick things off, though, we're going to start off with Friday. We have a low pressure system sitting off to our southeast. That's going to be moving its way north and eastward. It's going to be a coastal system mainly, some rain showers as you head towards the north and east, and some snow showers in the higher elevations. It's going to be moved along, though, by this cold front that's draped across the region. And thanks to the northwesterly flow behind the front, we're going to see some lake effect snow showers. Here in Pennsylvania, though, we're going to have some peaks of sunshine, but you can't rule out the opportunity for some lake effect snow showers, maybe here and there on Friday, especially off towards Erie and some of the more lake effect snow prone areas. Now for Saturday, the cold air is going to be really in place thanks to this high pressure system that's sitting north of Michigan, ushering in some of that cooler air to all the way to us here in Pennsylvania. We're still going to see some peaks of sunshine. We're to stay dry for your Saturday, but as you can see off to our southwest, the next weather system that looks to make a big impact here on Pennsylvania is taking shape. And as we look here for Sunday, that system has moved off to the east, and it's knocking on the doorstep here in Pennsylvania. High pressure still in place. We're going to see those peaks of sunshine still early on Sunday, but as we head throughout Sunday into the later hours of the afternoon and into the evening, we could see the possibility of some snow showers. So it's definitely something that you're going to want to keep an eye on, especially on social media throughout the next couple of days, so that the models can really get a good guidance on what this storm is actually going to be doing. It's still a couple of days out, but as of right now, the models do put a pretty decent storm here throughout Pennsylvania. But first, we're going to recap the weekend. 33 degrees as your high on Friday. That's going to be some partly cloudy skies. We're going to stay dry for Friday night as well. 10 degrees as your low. It's going to be quite chilly on Friday night. Mostly clear skies as we head into Saturday. Only getting up to 18 degrees on Saturday. We still have the mostly cloudy skies. We're going to stay dry, though. And Saturday night, getting into the single digits. 7 degrees with partly cloudy skies. And as we head into Sunday, that afternoon snow chance arrives with high temperatures of 27 degrees. Now, coming up next, we have a feature by Stuart where we're all going to be recapping what we did over winter break.
Well, it's great to be back after our 4-week hiatus, and certainly a lot of things have happened in the past couple of weeks here. We first had our wonderful holiday season and did a lot of stuff together. Brian, what did you do over break?
Yeah, so my winter break was spent doing a lot of surfing, a lot of skiing, a lot of time hanging out with my family, and even got the chance to hang out in the snow in New Jersey.
As well, much like Brian did. And then I also just spent a lot of my break spending time with family and friends, spent a lot of time working as well to bring some money back to State College with me. How about you, Stuart?
Well, I went back to working for my grocery store for a couple of weeks. One time I got to push carts for 8 hours. That was kind of certainly fun. Add that to my list. Certainly wasn't as bad as other holiday seasons. I only remember dealing with one customer who was nasty, but usually there's a lot more over the holiday season. So I got to count my blessings there. Speaking of counting blessings, we also had, I know most of us here celebrate Christmas. Did any of you get anything fun for Christmas?
I certainly did. I got a green screen for Christmas. So over the summer, hopefully I'll be able to practice a little bit with some of my broadcast meteorology skills. I'm going to set it up in my room, and I'm going to hope to pretty much every day, I'm going to try and do some of my own videos every now and then, just to, gain that experience, gain that practice. I can't wait to set it up. It's going to be a fun summer. Over to you, Jimmy. What about you?
Well, Brian, that sounds great. He's got to come back as a expert, a professional next fall. I didn't get anything that exciting. I did get a couple new sports jerseys, which I was excited about, including a Micah Parsons jersey to represent the Penn State Nittany Lions here. So that was really my biggest gift there.
Both of you are from Central New Jersey, and I do believe you had 2 rounds of snowstorms that dumped a lot of snow in your areas. So, Brian, what'd you do with all that snow?
Yeah, so actually for the first one, We were expected to get a little more, but unfortunately we were left with just a coating when we woke up in the morning. All of it was south of us, like Cape May, New Jersey. A lot of those southern New Jersey towns got, I believe, around 10 inches of snow, which is really unheard of for down there. But for the second storm, I measured in my front yard 6 inches. Now I know that wasn't the total for like the rest of the area, but I measured 6 inches. I know a lot of other areas got like 3-4 inches. So it was nice to wake up to see some actual snowfall, especially after not really getting the totals we were expecting from the storm prior. I went with my baby cousin to a local hill near my house, pushed him down on the sled a little bit, and it was a really good time. He was having a ton of fun.
Well, that just sounds great. I can share similar sadness about the first storm. Looking at the models all week, it was like we were going to be right on the edge of getting like 6 inches or nothing, and ended up being the nothing part. So it was kind of a depressing day, actually, just like watching the radar and seeing all the heavy snow like 20 to 30 miles to the south and just none of it reaching where my house was. But the second storm, Brian had 6 inches. My rough measurement in my front yard was 5 3/4. So Brian beating me out by 1/4 of an inch there. I got to make a pretty awesome snowman in the snow. Now I have made better snowmans. I've had better work previously, but made a nice little beach themed snowman to go along with the first snowstorm of the year in central New Jersey.
Thank you both for joining me and telling me all about what you did over break and all your tales about the snow.
Hello everyone, Brian Michigan back at it again for the extended forecast. Now, as I mentioned earlier, it's going to stay cold throughout much of Pennsylvania, and we even have the chance for a pretty good sized system impacting us later in the weekend. Let's recap the weekend first though. We're going to start with 33 degrees as your high for Friday, and as you can see, that's the highest high temperature that we have for this weekend. Temperature is well below average as we head into Saturday and even into Sunday. Sunday afternoon, you could see the chance for snow showers, but other than that, early in the weekend looks to remain dry across much of Pennsylvania. Taking a look at the week ahead, it's going to be a wintry week at that. Monday, some snow showers possible left over from the system. Lake effect snow also possible for Tuesday as that system moves out of the region, where it'll be left with some peaks of sunshine as well for your Tuesday with temperatures a little bit below average. Wednesday, we go slightly above average, but cloudy skies will be around the area. Thursday, really drop off in the temperatures. We could see some light snow flurries throughout the day on Thursday, and then Friday, peaks of sunshine, but look at that temperature for Friday getting into the teens. Now don't go anywhere because up next we have your quiz answer.
How many years did the lifespan of the James Webb Telescope mission increase due to the successful launch? Is it A, 5 years, B, 10 years, C, 15 years, or D, 20 years?
And the correct answer is B, 10 years. I'm sure the success was a huge relief for all the scientists that were a part of the project, and hopefully this is foreshadowing the great discoveries that are yet to come.
Absolutely. I hope this allows us to learn even more about what's going on in space. Well, that about wraps up this week's edition of Whether or Not. We thank you all for tuning in and hope to see you again next week. But until then, I'm Jimmy.
I'm Brian. Have a great week.